Alabama yet? Are we in Alabama yet? Are we in Alabama yet? And I asked it enough times that finally my parents were like, okay, we're not going to Texas, we're going to Disney World. And of course my sister and I are like, oh my gosh, and we're like freaking out. And then literally not even a minute later I go, so we in Florida yet?
Everybody has their doubts, but you can't stop now. You just gotta live.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristen and I'm super excited that you are here. I make videos to encourage you, empower you to be more and not less in this world, and most importantly to have fun, because this beautiful life is meant to be enjoyed. Today I'm coming at you guys, as you saw from the title, with my all-time favorite vacation spots. There's 4 in total. And I know with COVID and everything going on, we can't necessarily travel a lot of places and vacations are being canceled, and maybe that makes you sad. So I hope this video doesn't make you sad about the vacation you might have had to cancel. I hope it just brings back the good memories of past vacations that you've loved, and maybe even gives you new ideas for next year. Hopefully things open back up. I just thought it'd be fun to share my favorite vacation spots and a little bit of my experience at each, why I love them, I love to do there, like what I wish I would have done, what I was glad I did do. Just kind of give you all the rundown, all the information on these vacation spots, and hopefully quickly, because there's 4 of them and I don't want this to be like a 40-minute video. So I have my notes right here written down. I'm going to try and get through these and have a little bit of fun along the way. And as you will see from all these vacation spots, they are very varied. I have been to so many different vacation spots, so many different types of vacation spots over the years, and so you'll see from all 4 of these they are about as varied as you can get. There's a beach, there is just a quiet little town, there is hiking in the mountains, and then there's a theme park. But I hope that gives you some ideas or some new places to look at, because it can always be fun to kind of step outside what you normally do and try something fun. So without further ado, we're gonna start off with Disney World. So my family and I have gone to Disney World so many times. The first time I went, I was 5 years old, and the most recent time that I went, I was 22 years old, so just last November. And I personally love Disney World because I grew up on it. Like I said, my family and I have gone to Disney multiple times. My mom used to work at Disneyland before I was born, sadly. But I have been to Disneyland in California 3 times that I can remember. I think there was more when I was a baby, but I don't remember those. And then I have been to Disney World 6 or 7 times. And it truly is fun for the whole family. There's so much to do there, there's so much fun, and like, don't knock it if you've never been. It's not just a little kid's park, okay? It is a park where you can be a kid again and you can experience the magic. And I think the reason I love Disney so much is it truly is magical. Like, I know that sounds cliche, but it is so true. I literally get like goosebumps every time I walk in to Magic Kingdom, and then I see the fireworks at night, and it is all just amazing. And of course, me working at Disney World for 5 months did not dampen the magic anymore. Like, if anything, it heightened it, and now I want to go visit Disney World so much more. Now, I'm gonna come in here with a possibly unpopular opinion. I think it's popular, but whatever the case, I'm just gonna say it. If you didn't know, there's Disneyland in California in Anaheim and Disney World in Orlando, Florida. There are some main differences between the two. Personally, I say Disney World in Florida is 1,000 times better than Disneyland. Now yes, Disneyland was the original that Walt Disney opened, while Disney World opened like 15 years after. But Disney World has a lot more to do because there are 4 parks along with Disney Springs, which is like shopping and dining, whereas with Disneyland there's only 2 parks, and then Downtown Disney, which is kind of like that shopping thing. Also, Disneyland in California, it's kind of almost like right off the freeway. It doesn't really feel, once you're in the park, you feel like you're in the park, but it's still kind of like in the middle of life. Whereas Disney World, there's so much more property, and so there's so much more like resorts and, you know, all those things, so you feel like you're just in this little Disney bubble, and I like that. So personally, with more to do and more parks and bigger, I would suggest Disney World. As we've stayed over the years, we've stayed on property before at hotels. We've also stayed off property and then just like taken buses and taxis in. Either way works. I think if you have little kids or if you've never stayed on property, that can be fun to at least try. But if you're older and like you don't necessarily need the theme and you just want to get to the park early, which you do, then staying off property is completely fine. You still get the magical experience as well. A few more days, especially if you have little kids and you're gonna take breaks during your day. I'd say for Disney you need at least a solid 3. I'm gonna say like 4 or 5 days there to really get the full experience. And now as far as like some of my favorite things, I know with COVID, even though they're opening, things are going to be different. And so of course I don't know what's gonna change or what those are gonna look like, but I'm gonna give you just my favorite things, and hopefully you can still fit in some version of those even with these restrictions when they're opening. So my favorite things at Disney, of course, to ride the rides, like that's what you go there for. And there definitely are bigger rides. Like people think it's all just like little Dumbo elephants going up and down or something. One of them being Tower of Terror, where you literally like your fall drop. And actually Rock and Roller Coaster is a roller coaster. You go upside down twice and you go like 60 miles an hour. And I did not ride that. For the first 16 years I went to Disney because I hate roller coasters. I would not ride it. And then when I was working there, my parents came to visit me. My dad was like, "You're gonna try this, you're gonna ride it." And I rode it, and now it's my favorite ride ever. I still get scared every single time until they lift you off, because you go from like 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3 seconds. But I love it. So I love to ride the rides. I love the fireworks. I will cry every time at Happily Ever After. And it's just so magical. So like, don't skip the fireworks. If you're gonna go, if they offer it, don't think like, oh, I can just keep riding rides. If you're in Magic Kingdom, watch the fireworks. Hollywood Studios nighttime show, Fantasmic, that's pretty good. The other 2 parks, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, I do not like the nighttime shows, so you can skip those, but do not skip the fireworks. Now, some tips I will give for making your Disney experience the best that you can is to bring snacks and refillable water bottles. You are allowed to bring food in, like they have restrictions on coolers, I know, so I'm not sure the exact size, but you can bring food and snacks. And so every single time we go, from when I was 5 to now, we just get like a giant Ziploc bag, each of us, and we put snacks in there, like popcorn, protein bars, trail mix, goldfish, cookies, just like gummies, things that are easy to snack on. As like park food's expensive, I'm just gonna say that, and it's not the best tasting. It's not disgusting, but you're not gonna get like this gourmet meal unless you have like a fancy reservation in one of the fancier restaurants. Also, you don't want to keep taking time to stop because that's time out of your day, and so it's easy when you have a snack bag, if you're just like standing in line at a ride, to eat the snack to tide you through, and then maybe only buy like 1, maybe 2 meals at the park. My family and I too, we would always get like breakfast cereals and things we could eat in the hotel room to eat before we go as well. That just saves you money, it saves you time, and you can enjoy more of the parks. Second thing I would suggest is to have a little bit of a plan. I'm not saying you gotta plan every hour from like 8 to 8:30 we're going on this ride, from 8:31 to 8:32 is the bathroom break, because Disney gets busy, the rides, you can't always predict the lines. And plus, like, if you want to go with the flow a little bit, you want to have a little bit of fun and whimsicalness. But with that said, it does get busy. And so if you go in having no clue what rides you want to go on, no clue what order, especially if it's your first time there, you're going to get a little overwhelmed, and you're probably not going to be able to hit every single thing that you want, or it's going to be a little bit inefficient because you're going here, then here, then here, then oh, you got to come back here for a reservation, and you're going to be going everywhere. But if you want to maximize your most fun at Disney, I would at least try and look at like, what are the top 3 rides we want to ride? What are the top characters we want pictures with, if that's what we want, or other activities that are there, and then try and kind of like look at a map ahead of time and plan and see where you want to go. So you at least have a little bit of an idea, and if that plan to change, that's cool, but you at least have some idea. Piggybacking off of that, my third tip is to utilize fast passes. As a cast member, when I worked there in attractions, I cannot tell you how many times people broke my heart by not knowing that fast passes were free. People, free. You do not have to pay extra. You get 3 fast passes automatically when you buy your ticket to a park. And what fast pass is, real quick for those of you who don't know, you're basically saving your place in line for a certain time, and there's a regular line and there's a fast pass line. And if you have a fast pass, you know, say from 11 to 12 for Big Thunder Mountain, then anytime between 11 and 12 you can go in, and the fast pass line is typically shorter because you have to have that reservation, and there's a limited amount, so once like all of them are gone for that time period, all of them are gone. Just this tip for you, if you're gonna go on vacation there, utilize your fast passes as part of your plan. I could do honestly a whole video, and I probably will, on Disney of how to like get the most out of your money from someone who's been there 10 plus times and someone who used to work there. I will definitely make that video. Now, do I regret anything on all my vacations at Disney? And I actually do. So this one is, I didn't actually figure this out until I became a cast member there. So I had a little bit of an advantage, but I would say I regretted not taking time to just take in and like see the park and to actually enjoy the park, not just like the rides and the fireworks show, but just to sit on the grass and like notice the details and notice the buildings and notice the creativity and the storytelling that's going on. Don't get me wrong, when we were on vacations, I'd still notice like that stuff. It wasn't like I was just like zoomed in, focused on the rides. And like, granted, I know when you're only there for 3 or 4 days, like you want to get as much in, so you don't necessarily want to be just sitting on the lawn for 2 hours watching everyone go by. I understand that. I understand that that was a luxury I had that I utilized as a cast member because I went to Magic Kingdom, and so I would literally just go into Magic Kingdom like an hour before my shift and just like sit and people watch and look at the park and enjoy it. Overall, highly recommend Disney. It is a lot of fun. Yes, it's gonna be more of an active vacation. You're not gonna get a whole lot of rest, but like for me, the fun and the magic is worth it. Next up, we are going to Hot Springs, Arkansas. So Hot Springs was a vacation that we went on, my family and I, back in 2016, and it was kind of just this random thing. We were trying to figure out somewhere to go. I had an internship that summer, so we couldn't travel a lot, and we wanted somewhere just kind of small and something fun that we haven't done together as a family, because usually on vacations we're either going to Disney or going to like California to visit our family. We didn't really go anywhere else. It's a cute little town. It's like quiet and quaint, but it's so unique. And Hot Springs is known for their bathhouses, like what they used to have back in the 19 and 1800s. And so like a main strip of their road is a bunch of like bathhouse museums that you can go in and learn a lot of cool information actually. It's just especially nice if you want to take a shorter vacation, if you just like a 3 or 4 day vacation, maybe even just like a long weekend or just like a weekend trip just to get away for a few days. This is a perfect place. It's not too far away from most places, and it's nice. It's got a mix of like hiking and activity, but also relaxing if that's what you want. And like I say, it's just a unique town that can just be a lot of fun. So for Hot Springs, first I'm gonna start off with the place that we stayed. So this is really cute like bed and breakfast inn that was called Lookout Point. And it was like mostly meant for couples, kind of like a romantic bed and breakfast, but right next door they had condos that they also rented, or it was just one condo that they actually rented. And so that's what we stayed. It was a 2-bedroom condo. Of space, and then every morning for breakfast we walked over to the inn anyway and had like their little meal that they were serving. It was fun because it's a beautiful area. You could still use like all the amenities at the inn if you were staying in the condo, and so I would recommend checking that out, either the actual like inn or the condo. And then as far as some of the things that I loved that we did there, so we went on a hike, and it walked up to this viewing tower, which I'll insert pictures here, and you got like a breathtaking view of just the city and the forest that was around it. And so that was like a nice easy hike, but it was still a fun thing. Like I said earlier, the bathhouse museums are really cool as well. There was a magic show that was for, I can't remember his name, something Blade. I'm gonna put it here after I research it, but if he still has this magic show, go. Do everything you can to go. He was insane. I mean, magicians in general just like wow me, but this guy, the tricks that he did, one of them, he even picked like my dad as a member, and my dad had no idea what he was doing, and like the trick that he did with pick a card and everything was absolutely crazy. So I highly recommend you would go. Plus it's like fun, it's not creepy or anything. It's a fun, lighthearted environment with some really cool magic. A lot of fun for the whole family. And then last but not least, we went ziplining. And so this is my first time ziplining ever. And I was at first nervous because I'm terrified of heights, and I was afraid like the line was gonna break and everything. But the place that we went, I'll also insert that here when I find it, was so good about like safety and making sure you felt comfortable and explaining everything so you knew what you were gonna be doing. And it was so much fun. It was scary that first like jump or two, but after that it was so much fun. And I'm trying to remember, I think there was like 2 courses. You could either do a half course or a full course. The full course was 10 zip linings and the half course was 5, I believe. And so you went with a group too. It wasn't just like me and my family. There was maybe like 12 of us total, and they would like bring us to the first one and we all zip line down safely, and then they would come down, and then we'd all like hike to the next one and keep going as well. And then once we got to the last one, it was like right at the spot where they picked us up and brought us back to where we met at first. Beautiful views, like so much fun. Highly recommend doing it. It seems a little scary at first, but it's a lot of fun if you just like look around at the scenery. They also have a lake there. We're not huge lake people, but I believe you can get boats or do some kind of lake activities as well. So that's everything I recommend with hot springs. Like I said, I think it's a good mix of some nature with the hiking and the zip lining without being full in nature. The town's really cute if you just want to do shopping or dining and you just want to walk around downtown a little bit. So overall a lot of activities for different people that hopefully you can find something you enjoy in hot springs. So next up is Hawaii. And I'm very thankful that I have been able to go to Hawaii with my parents twice. I went to Maui after my senior year of high school, and then we went to Kauai last year back in 2019. Both beautiful islands, amazing, and I think the islands are different, and so I'm going to try to explain the kind of differences that I saw between the two to help maybe figure out which one you might want to go to. But overall, I know it can be expensive, but if you can afford Hawaii, like, go. It is so beautiful. And the reason that I love Hawaii in general is, of course, like, yes, it's beautiful in the tropics and there's not really any place like it in the United States. And I know we have beaches in the United States. The thing is, I'm not a huge beach person. I'm not going to be the one to be like, let's go down to Florida or Alabama or California to go to the beach. I'm like, if I'm going to go to the beach, it's going to be like Hawaii. And so I loved Hawaii because there was like beautiful beaches and it just like, it felt right. It felt like I was like on vacation, because I feel like, in my opinion again, if you go to the beach in like Florida, it doesn't feel like you're on vacation. But when you go to Hawaii, I felt like I was on vacation. And there's also so many activities that you can do, so you can really never get bored, but you can also literally just like sit on your butt for a week at the beach, at the pool, and do that as well. Like, you don't have to go out and do anything. I know it's island time, that's what they say, but it truly is a slow down pace. Everything just feels like calm there, and you just don't feel too stressed. It's literally something in the air, and no, it was not drugs. Everyone's like just friendly and peaceful, so I really enjoyed that aspect as well. And they have some of the most beautiful sunrise and sunsets, which like really is what gets me. So with that said, I'm going to now compare the two islands, Maui versus Kauai, and kind of the differences I saw between the two. So I will give this quick disclaimer. The day we left for Kauai, I got sick with some kind of cold / pink eye / I don't know what. That was the worst flight ever. We flew to LA and we flew to Kauai after that. 6 hours of, because normally when you go up in the air, of course, like, you get, your ears can't pop and everything, but I was congested, I was tired, my stomach hurt, I was a mess. I'm just gonna say all that to say, I don't think me being sick on the trip to Kauai makes a difference between the activities that I saw, but it was also, we didn't do quite as much because I was sick for most of the time. So I was like trying to be grateful and excited that I was in Hawaii, but also we were in Hawaii for 13 days and I think I felt pretty bad for the first like 8 of them, and I enjoyed the last 4. Anyway, what I saw is Maui is for more like activity and more doing stuff, if that's your kind of thing, and Kauai is more of the quietness. Not that there's not activities to do, but I feel like you go there more just for like the scenery and the beaches and to relax more. And Maui, you can definitely relax, but there's more activity going on. Again, maybe because I was sick, we just didn't do a lot or explore a lot. That could be part of it too, but I think that's the big differences. But still did activities and we still rested and relaxed in both of them, so it is possible no matter what island you go to. With Maui, we went snorkeling, so that was super fun. I had never been snorkeling before. Water is so clear. We went out on the sailboat and they provided like breakfast and lunch for us, and we just got like hours of just being able to like explore the reef in this little cove area. That was super cool, so highly recommend snorkeling. We also went parasailing, and that was really cool. We went up there like 2 at a time, so my dad and I went, and then my mom and I went, so I got to go twice. But I think it was when my dad and I were up there, we saw dolphins down around our boats. Also, a little bit more shopping and like kind of this shopping area. So we took a bus down there, looked at some stores, got some lunch, just kind of chilled like that for a day. And then we also did the road to Hana. That was a long day. It was like 6 a.m. to like 6 p.m. It was super long, but you can do it either through like a tour bus company where there's a lot more people, or there's people that rent it like individually. So this guy just took us in our van, and I like that a little bit more. obviously I didn't do the other one, but because he took us to a grocery store beforehand, we got like authentic sandwiches, and he took us to some more like secret places that people wouldn't know necessarily. The road to Hana is essentially like this giant road around the mountain. It stops at a lot of cool places, and like the ending point before you turn around is a beautiful black sand beach. So we did that there as well. And then you come back down. So it's a long day, but you get to see a lot of sights. Even though it's a long day, it wasn't my favorite thing we did, but I think it is a cool way to see the island if that's a big part that you are wanting to do. So that was Maui. Now with Kauai, like I said, I was sick, and another thing is there was a hurricane the year before, so like a little bit more, like half the island the roads were shut down unless you lived on the island, so we couldn't explore all of the areas as well. But like I said, in Kauai, for the first 7 days, we just mostly sat on the beach or like by the pool, relaxing because I did not feel well and I didn't want to do anything. But we did go on a hike that had this beautiful overlook as well, and that was a lot of fun. I liked that. And one of my favorite thing we did though was a helicopter tour. Again, I was terrified beforehand, just like the zip lining and just like parasailing, but I'm so glad that we did it because you get to see so much of the island. And we actually went down into a volcano. Obviously it was not an active volcano, but it was the volcano that made Kauai all those years ago. So you get a really unique perspective of the island, beautiful views, and definitely a cool way to see the island. There was literally parts of the island that only can be seen from helicopter, like that you can't hike to, that you can't drive to. So that was a really unique experience as well. And then we were going to go kayaking down this river, but I felt too sick too, so we didn't. We ended up canceling that. No matter what you do in Hawaii, it just feels different, and I absolutely love Hawaii. If I had to pick top vacations I've ever had, it would be the ones to Hawaii, even when I was sick, just because I love Hawaii that much. And then last but not least, we're going from like polar opposites. We're going from the beach to Yosemite and hiking in the mountains. So I've been up in the California mountains before because my grandparents own a cabin up in Northern California that we would go to often, like every other year when I was growing up. But I didn't appreciate it as much then. I'm just like, okay, this is cool, but like nature is stupid. You know how the kids are. But we went to Yosemite last year, my mom and I, because she had a work trip in San Francisco, so we did that. And then we were gonna go up to the cabin, but we stopped one day at Yosemite. And I'm so thankful we did that because that sparked something in me. Bucket list now is to visit every single national park in the United States before I die. I think that's only like 50 something, so it's very possible. And I've already been to Yosemite, so got that. Obviously, Yosemite is very naturey, so if you don't like nature, if you don't like hiking, if you don't like waterfalls, don't like camping, do not go there. I absolutely loved it, even though we were only there for a day. It was stunning. Like I look at the photos that I took and I truly cannot believe that that's real and it wasn't just like, you know, photoshopped or a painting or something. It is absolutely incredible. And so even though we were only there for a day, we got there in the morning, we parked, and we did multiple hikes throughout the day. We did have to take it a little bit easy. I don't know what it's with me, like getting injured or sick before trips, but 2 days before we were supposed to leave for California, I sprained my ankle playing touch rugby with my friends. And so it was healing because by the time we got to Yosemite, it was like 5 days into the trip. So it felt a little bit better, and I had an ankle brace on, and the 5 days before I had like literally rested it and not moved and just put ice and used crutches. Still, like there were times I was like, I told my mom she could keep going and I would wait here for her because my ankle was hurting. Many different trails there, from like super easy to obviously Half Dome, which is like super extreme. My mom did it once when she was like my age, and I don't know how she did it because just hearing her stories and like reading about it is insane. But there are so many different trail levels, so people of all ages can do it, and there's like meadows you can walk through, and there's streams and waterfalls you can walk to. Of course, we did choose to stay the night there just for the experience, and so the cool thing is they have a lot of different accommodations too. My mom and I chose to stay in these like canvas tents, so it wasn't a normal tent you'd like pitch on the ground. It was raised up a little bit, but the material was just canvas, so that I was a little bit nervous about that, but it was a good in between, I think, of like it wasn't full on camping where you had to be like in sleeping bags, because inside it was small, but there were at least cots and like a little table thing, some space, and it wasn't like full on camping. But it wasn't like obviously staying in a hotel. And I was actually terrified because there's these little boxes outside each canvas tent that you have to lock up all your food, all your toiletries, those kinds of things during the night, because the bears, there are bears, like welcome to Yosemite, there are bears and animals, and they will sense the food. And so it's safe to keep it in there because A, that way they don't not that bears like will try and come into the tents, but that way they don't smell anything inside your tent, and that way they also can't get anything, because if it's left in your car, they literally showed videos where bears have broken into people's cars to get that stuff. So that was a little bit scary for me at first. I kept waking up in the middle of the night being like, that's a bear. I'm sure there is a bear outside. And there was one time I could have sworn I heard breathing, and I'm like, that is a bear. And then there was something move over there, and the next morning I'm like, I am pretty sure a bear went by our tent. My mom's like, yeah, I literally felt a brush against me as I was sleeping against the canvas. So there are bears, but we had all of our stuff packed away safe. Obviously, if it was dangerous, they wouldn't have people there. We only stayed there one night, so before we went in for bed, we got like pizza at the restaurant, and then we just sat on benches. So we just sat there reading like as the sun was setting. The weather was beautiful, the sky was beautiful, everything was beautiful, and it made my heart so happy. So like, whenever I'm feeling down, I go back to that moment. I just remember like how beautiful it was. And so it was just a nice break from kind of the normalness of what vacations normally are, and it felt good. I will say they have communal bathrooms, and so I was like making sure, because I'm supposed to the bathroom a lot because I drink a lot of water, and so I was trying to drink a little bit less water, because if I had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I was not doing that. I was not going out into the dark to walk like, you know, a quarter of a mile to the bathroom. I was not doing that with the bears. You stay there multiple nights. I could see it being a little like iffy, because obviously it's like communal showers and there's only two, so there's like a line to get into the shower. That could bug me. I could see that, but it's kind of one downside. But some things that I would recommend you doing is just staying at least one night there, and like getting kind of the more authentic experience. Like a little grocery store where we would buy like some snacks, and then they also have some restaurants, not a whole bunch, but like this little restaurant area where there's a few options. And like, we had really good pizza one night, so that was awesome. And then the grocery store has some stuff. I will say we had breakfast the morning that we were leaving, and it wasn't the most amazing breakfast. It was pretty boring and average. So if you're gonna stay there for multiple nights, I would maybe suggest bringing like your own cereal or your own pastries, or just like something that you can eat for breakfast, and then maybe like choose the other stuff for the lunches and dinners. Also, I would highly recommend just try and make this like a technology-free time as much as you can. Granted, there's not much service there, so you don't get a choice. Yes, take your pictures, but I think Yosemite is truly a great vacation to unplug from your technology and just be in nature and like enjoy and like find enjoyment and find, you know, fun in nature. My mom and I hiked up like these rocks where people were going close to a waterfall to try and get a picture, and like we just found fun things to do by just like being in nature and being with each other. So that's all I have for those 4 vacation spots. Those 4 vacation spots: Disney World, Hot Springs, Arkansas, Hawaii, and Yosemite National Park. So I hope you found maybe something to either try something new or something that's like more in line with what you normally do. Whether you're a beach person or a mountain person or a city person, whatever the case may be, I hope you just use vacation, have fun, to make memories with whoever you're with, and just to explore new areas. Hope some of these tips helped you if you're interested in any of these places. Definitely, if you've been to any 4 of these places, let me know your thoughts below, and tell me your favorite vacation spot so I can maybe get some ideas for next year as well. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button so you never miss another video with me, and of course, as you go, whether it's on vacation or not, I hope you go knowing that you are worth more than you know, capable more than you think, and loved more than you can imagine. I will see you in the next video.
You just gotta